And hello tankers, can't find keyboard here, and welcome to the ResCrew. Yeah, so we got 4 people on this channel. Right now it's NinjaMan727, Super something something, and Chicken Man. I don't know his username, sorry. Yeah, I only know Ninja. I've spoken to Super once on Skype, but that was it. So yeah guys, my name's Can't Find Keyboard. I'm your World Tanks guy on this channel. Every Wednesday I upload, so you guys want tank stuff? Come on Wednesday. You like some other stuff? Too bad, I do tanks. Everybody else, they do stuff like Minecraft on other days. So here we are driving the AMX 1390. This is the channel World Tanks, or for World Tanks at least, this is the channel example tank. Just it's all in the icon, and you know you can just sort of click up there. It's about right there. Just click it. That'll take you to the page so you can subscribe. There's free stuff. If I promise free stuff, you do it, right? That's how it works. There's a secret over there. The button. It's a special color. It's red. Okay, I'm done with this. Okay, so here we are back to the AMX 1390. Let's just go to a game real quick. AMX 1390 is a tier 8 French light tank, extremely effective in combat, has an automatic magazine loader, meaning that it has 6 shells in each magazine, and it has a 90mm cannon. It just rips stuff apart. Anything you can come upon, it will rip up. There is not a single tank in the game that it cannot pen from some angle, other than top and bottom. I mean, like, if you get behind or to the side of most vehicles, you'll be able to pen them. That's just how it works. And the front, some vehicles, you can still pen at the front. So the reason why they let's listen to some history about this vehicle. So yeah, AMX 1390 started, or the 13 series was named 13 because of its weight, weighing at stock configuration 13 tons without any extra equipment, and I believe with a stock 75mm cannon. It had a weight of 13 tons. The French like to name things after the weight of the vehicle and then the caliber of the gun. That's just sort of how it works, like the AMX 5100, the AMX 1375, etc, etc. This is the AMX 1390. Should weigh 13 tons. It weighs actually 14 or 15 tons. Why? France. I don't know. France, okay, it's not actually France's problem. Yeah, what happened was when they would upgrade the tank, add more equipment like these useful shovels on the front of the vehicle, and extra track bits, and maybe even the upgraded gun and ammunition, the thing would weigh about 14 to 15 tons. So, yeah, that's why it weighs more than the stated weight. The 1390 has a 90mm cannon, as I said earlier, and a fantastic view range, so it is a perfect scout tank. As well as this, it has a beautiful view range, so scout and the gun will just wreck stuff. This gun is beautiful. It'll get through everything, as I said, and you have 6 shells of just pure pain for anything you come upon. So fear the 1390, guys. If you're a slow vehicle, fear it. It is a scary tank. If it's behind you, I'm sorry, you can't stop it now. If it gets behind you in any vehicle, it's going to rip you apart, put a bunch of shells into your bum, and then run away. It is a scary vehicle. For anything that's fighting against it, if you are fighting against a vehicle, keep distance. That's all I can tell you. If you're in a slow vehicle, definitely keep your distance. Get some cover. Get your rear up against a wall, that way it can't put shells into your bum. So, yeah. It appears they've left the entire flank open, or they've sent all their extremely slow tanks, like the E100. They just derped this poor person. I was about to say something else, but yeah. So AMX 1390, I put enhanced gun lane drive to increase the aiming time when I'm sniping. So sniping time down by 10%. As well as this, I have binocular camouflage. Binocular camouflage, that's a new thing. Yeah, so binocular telescope, so that way I can see 25% further when stopped after 5 seconds. The commander pops it out of the top of his hatch and says, "Now I can see you." And same with the camouflage net. After 5 seconds, they pop out the camouflage net. You have bonus 5% camouflage. Not at all bad. And here we go. We can get some shots in on this Batchatillon 25 ton. So, yeah, the AMX 1390, as far as the real world applications went, it was a very good light tank. It was shipped everywhere. It was air portable as well, which is why the US Army and the Indian Army as well loved this vehicle. And the French, of course, they loved it too. That's why they used it for nearly 30 years. they produced this vehicle from the 1950s all the way until 1980, until the French started weaning it out of use, except they did continue to sell it until about 87. This vehicle is still used today, amazingly, by someone said, hey, let's use a tank from the 50s. So yeah, and mainly in Africa, by the way, and this is Africa we're talking about, so no surprise there. No offense to the people that live there, of course, that's completely logical. The vehicles, though, in Africa, of course, they're poor in Africa, and they cannot afford the best of things, so they don't have very nice tanks. This is why we can't afford nice things. So in Africa, this is the top dog right now. About 50, no, this is 1950s they started making this vehicle, and in Africa they still use this vehicle to this day in some countries. So that means this is a 65-year-old vehicle that is still being used by some people in Africa. But the reason why it's a good tank still, in Africa at least, is because there are tanks like Panzer IVs in African militaries. So you can understand why it's not the worst tank in Africa. It is actually pretty good. But compare it to an M1 Abrams or anything. I mean, not that the M1 Abrams is an amazing vehicle. I prefer to be driving, or I mean, if I was just saying, if I was running a military, I'd be wanting you to buy a bunch of T90As or something, or not T90As, the most recent modification of the T90. It's extremely cheap and extremely comparable to the M1 Abrams vehicle. I'm getting off track now, but yeah, comparing them to those vehicles, my god, it is uncompetitive. It'll kill infantry, it has machine guns, it has a nice big old 90mm cannon with high explosive, and we're about to bum rush this person. Oh. There we go. Now that we're reloading, what's actually... Oh, God. AMX 50B. And this isn't good. Now that we're about to be shot at by this AMX 50B, so let's get behind this hill. Yes, we did. Bah. Okay, now I'm gonna skip to the next replay. Alright, hey guys, alright, we're back, and let's go to another battle. So this one hopefully will be better. So yeah, 1390, more stuff about the tank. Yeah, so the French use it everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It was used by the French in Vietnam, and even by the Indians in the Pakistani, Pakistani and Indian War, 1965. This thing was actually used to fight against M46 Pattons and M4 Shermans. Okay, the M4 Sherman, 4 people driving the M4 Sherman, those horrible, that must have been horrible, those poor tankers. Yeah, at this point in time, there was a strange supplying system. We supply the Pakistanis and really everyone. The Indians, they've always had this sort of way of dealing with things. What's the best bang for my buck? They buy things not depending on if you're Russia. They might even buy stuff from ISIS if they sell it for a low enough price. Nothing against India, of course. I love India. But as far as their weapons go, they, right now, even though they're a very, very close ally of the United States, they buy T-80 main battle tanks and such from the Russians and use American rocket launchers. I don't know, nothing against them, just saying that they do buy weapons and have a history of buying weapons from all sources. The Pakistanis, I didn't even know the US supported the Pakistanis at one point, but it appears we did, because at one point they were using M4 Shermans, and what was that? Dang, sticky keys. Alright, sticky keys, yeah. So, yeah, the Pakistanis, in 1965, the Indians and the Pakistanis did go to war. They'd been going to war since about 1910. The Indians and the Pakistanis have had a very harsh history of war. Useless war, it's horrible. It is, just so many people dying. But yes, they did have a big history of just fighting with each other. And then suddenly, when nukes come in, everyone is a peacemaker. Yay. Everyone's a peacemaker. The ruling class goes to war when they are not threatened at all, but when nukes come into the equation and threaten to kill everyone, then suddenly they become peacemakers. Okay, I'm getting extremely far off track. Okay, so yeah, Pakistan. Pakistan and India did go to war, And the AMX 13 tank did kill lots of Pakistani tankers, and this 13 was beloved by the French, the Indians, and the Israelis. The Israelis did use this vehicle to defend themselves against the invading enemies from surrounding them in the 60s and 70s and Six-Day War, etc. They used Centurions as well as the AMX 1390. So yes, this thing has been widely used by relative friends to the US and France. It was not a commie tank. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, it was not a commie tank. It was used by the Allied forces, or the UN, NATO, etc. Sort of forces, allies of NATO, all that good jazz. Yeah, so here we are. The AMX 1390, it was slowly bled out of what was it? The French forces in the 80s, because it was just becoming insufficient at being able to sustain combat against stronger enemy forces. This was in the 80s, mind you, so this was like at the point in time when we were having like this was just like T-70s coming in, and it couldn't compete, so they had to take it out, and for a good reason, because military powers, they're smart. They don't put things that are out of date. They don't endanger their own tankers in most armies. France has definitely done this, as you can see. They do not use this vehicle anymore. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so France, they don't use the AMX 1390 anymore. There are vehicles in museums, and as well as this, in Britain and some other countries, you can actually drive the AMX 13 tanks on roads because they are street legal, seeing how light they are. They're also just sort of cool to drive a tank down the road. That sounds fun. And they're relatively cheap for tank standards. I mean, they're not some crazy expensive Hetzer vehicle from 1940. Yeah, here we are, AMX 1375. There we go, kill you. What? Oh, I missed. Where'd he go? Uh-oh. This isn't good. We're being shot at from all angles and we don't know where they're coming from. Yeah, screw it, let's just hide back here. Yeah, okay. Let's hope they don't see. Horrible game again, guys. Alright, that's it for today. Been a bit waste of time, I feel like. But yeah, AMX 1390, beautiful tank. I respect all forces of any military force, really, that did fight in tanks, whether you were a German in World War II, whether you were an American tanker or a Pakistani tanker. Many people did live and die in these vehicles, and great to hear the history of these things. Yeah, the AMX 1390, great vehicle, rich with history, used by so many nations. Actually about 50% of them produced were sold to other nations. But that's pretty much the end of the history for this tank, and the video actually. So yeah, if you like this video, guys, welcome to the ResCrew. This is our first video. Do the stuff below, you know, all that jazz, and click up here and you can see my actual channel, Can't Find Keyboard channel. And I know selfless advertising for myself, but yeah, I am such a nice selfless person. I advertise for own channel, group channel. So yeah, if there were other videos, I'd put those in there, but for now it's just me. So yeah, click on any of these videos. There's more World Tanks content there. I upload more there, guys, so check that out. And come back every week. I'm here on Wednesday every day. Did I say I'm here on Wednesday every day? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, I'm here every week on Wednesday. So yeah, I hope you love the video, guys. Yeah, that's it. So bye bye.